By the way, did you hear what the president said about hurricanes this summer? He was told about how they're coming across the warm water in the Atlantic, and if they get to the closer they get to the shore, the worse they get. You know what he said, Alejandro? He said, maybe we should drop an atomic weapon on them and blow them up. As we say in my religion, bless me, Father, for I have sinned. What's going on here? Under my plan, small business come out the other side of this crisis with access to capital and the ability to deal with their debts. We're going to get $50 billion in new capital, especially for minority-owned businesses and small businesses. We're going to make another $100 billion in low-interest loans available to these businesses, creating jobs, increasing economic growth, and increasing incomes. A $15 minimum wage. I'm dreaming here. But a $15 minimum wage for our essential workers. We're not just going to praise you. We're going to pay you with a good wage. Ensure you have strong benefits. We'll ease the burden of the major cost in your life. We'll build the Affordable Care Act, adding new health insurance options, not-for-profit public options, which give private insurers a real competitor. We're going to increase subsidies for premiums and lower your costs, increase plans that will lower deductibles and lower out-of-pocket expenses. And we're going to take on the pharmaceutical industry. With a plan that will slash cost of prescription drugs by 50%. The reason I'm not going into more detail, you've been out here a long time, let's give me one example. If, in fact, Medicare is able to negotiate for all the drugs they buy and say you're not going to be able to sell them to them unless you pay the price we're suggesting, that would drop by 60% the cost of drugs. We'll also make high-quality child care available, accessible. We'll work with the states to ensure that every 3-4-year-old will get access to free, high-quality preschool, not daycare. We're going to make sure low and middle-income families never have to spend more than 7% of their income to care for young children. Because if we truly want to reward work in this country, we have to ease the financial burdens and create the care for families that are caring for raising a child and an aging loved one. Look, and the professional caregivers out there, home health care workers, child care workers, more often women of color, immigrants, are too often underpaid, underseen, and undervalued. That's why my Build Back Better plan will elevate the compensation, benefits, and dignity of caregiving workers and early childhood educators. We're also going to triple the funding for Title I schools like the one behind me here, which serve high number of children from low-income families. We're going to make 4 years of public college and universities tuition-free for any family that makes less than $125,000 a year. We're going to make community college and job training programs free for all hardworking Americans that qualify. And if you're buying your first home, we're going to provide a $15,000 tax credit to help you get there. We're going to protect Social Security and increase benefits for millions of seniors. Look, I'm not going to lay it out, but go to JoeBiden.com. Go to Moody's. Look it up. We pay for all this and we grow the economy at the same time. The fact is, the President of the United States can only see the world from Park Avenue. He thinks Wall Street built this country and CEOs. I see the world from where I grew up in Scranton, Pennsylvania, and Claymont, communities like some that you live in. I know the middle-class working people built this country. The measure of our economic success is by what our families are talking about around the kitchen table. Are you able to look your kid in the eye and say, honey, it's going to be okay? How many times do you know somebody this morning had to say, I know those tires are bald, but you got to ride on them for another 20,000 miles. We just don't have the money. We just can't do it now. Who's going to tell her she can't go back to school because we can't continue to borrow the money to keep her in that community college? They're the discussions that took place around my table, and I'm sure yours as well. But if we're going to get anything done, We got to come together. I made a speech I worked really, really hard on and thought really hard about before I made it in Gettysburg, Pennsylvania, on the battlefield last week. I said at that time that we're facing a crisis not unlike we did after Gettysburg. I said there that I'm running as a proud Democrat, but I'm going to govern as an American president. I'm going to work as hard for those who don't support me as those who do. Because after all this country has been through, after all that America has accomplished, after all the years we've stood as a beacon of light to the world, we cannot be that here and now in 2020 we allow the government of the people, by the people, and for the people to perish from this earth. Folks, we have it in our hands, and I mean this in the bottom of our heart, we have in our hands the ultimate power. What's the ultimate power in a democracy? The power to vote. Here in Nevada, the best thing you can do is vote early and return your ballot quickly. Ballots here in Clark County were mailed 2 days ago on Wednesday. You can return your ballot by mail. You can drop it off at a drop box or vote in person during the early vote or on Election Day. But just make a plan. Seriously, go to iwillvote.com/NV. Make a plan. Don't risk any delays. Return that mail-in ballot as soon as you can. Make sure your voice is heard. We can be better than what we've seen. We can be what we are at our best, the United States of America. I'm confident we can bring Democrats and Republicans together again with him gone. Folks, conclude by saying there has never, ever, ever been anything the United States has been unable to accomplish when we've done it together. Never, never, never. So, folks, let's stand up and vote and take back this country now. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Thank you. Appreciate it.